All right, so good morning. On behalf of Women's Resource Center, I wanted to welcome you to the luncheon today. My name's Cliff McDermott. I'm Director of Logistics for Tropicana. And as we talked about welcoming folks to the luncheon today for the Founders Day lunch, Ashley and I spoke a little bit about possibly someone from Tropicana just simply sharing. We've had an 8-year partnership with the Women's Resource Center, right? Absolutely. And so we want to just spend a minute and talk a little bit about that partnership and why we feel like it's so critical for the community that we invest in the center. And so one of the things, right, one of the reasons that we partner and have found this partnership so special over time is that we feel like we share some basic core beliefs about, none of us should go through life changes. None of us should go through life situations alone. That we have to empower each other. We have to come alongside each other and help people through changes in life that we all go through. At Tropicana, we have several what we call employee resource groups. And so those employee resource groups are basically there to help people integrate into Tropicana life. And so when you think about reapplying that, there's a group called the Women's Inclusion Network. And at Tropicana's standpoint, that group is who partners with the Women's Resource Center because there's a valuable touch point there. There's a valuable coming along, a commingling of beliefs, right? That it's about coming alongside of each other as we go through life, partnering and empowering each other as we go through change. So some of the reasons we also love the Women's Resource Center, right, is that partnerships. We look for not-for-profit organizations that develop phenomenal partnerships within the community, where you know that you can't hit every need, you can't be everything to everybody, but there are partnerships that happen within the community. And that there's not hoarding of resources, that there's an open dialogue and an open sharing. We have found the Women's Resource Center to be phenomenal at developing those relationships. And we find that important. We feel like that's a way that Women's Resource Center moves the community forward. And so that's very important for us that any partner that we go partner with in the community finds the best people to partner with, has a clear strategic vision of how they move the community forward, and they have systems in place where they basically partner and empower people to do those things. And then the other thing that I'll say is the other thing we believe that Women's Resource Center does very, very well is they stay relevant to their constituency. So from a relevancy perspective, we know that we send employees to the Women's Resource Center. We have those that go, and they find value there. They find relevant things as they walk in and say, hey, I've got something I'm going through. Where can I turn? Where can I find someone who's done this before? Where do I even begin? We know that there's a solid place for them to go. There's a solid place for them to find partnerships and even family where they can integrate back into and doing the things that they do, and they can work through changes. They can work through changes in their life and come out on the other side of it in a good place. So these are all things Tropicana believes Women Resources does extremely well. And that makes them, for us, what we believe a strategic partner in the community to advance the community along. So we're very thankful you took time today out of your very busy schedule to be here.
First of all, I want to thank Cliff McDermott for speaking. That was great. Thank you. And Tropicana is a wonderful partner of ours, so you get the door prize of the day. If you get attacked, it's not my fault. But one of our speakers and a great success story is Arlene Adequoya, and she has a company called Lady A's Cookies. So I have a tray. Look, we've got Look, already Cliff is like, hand over the cookies. So welcome again. My name is Ashley Brown, and I have the honor of being the director of the Women's Resource Center, an honor which I've held for 12 years. And how did that happen? I don't know how it happens. And it is so wonderful to be in a room of support. And I want to point out Joan Crowder. I'm not going to make you speak. Don't panic. But Joan started a wonderful series of columns called I Am Woman, Hear Me Right. So clever. And I felt the support this week when I wrote a column on how to ask for help. I wanted to let everybody know I'm fine. I've had lots of calls like, do you need help now? But the sweetest really was my dad. Posted, I think, on Amanda's Facebook. Great article. You have a friend if you need one. It's like, Dad, how sweet was that? But currently I'm fine. But I am happy that there's a place like the Women's Resource Center, should I need it. And as I said, working in a place that has a staff of counselors is not a bad thing. So, just for side things. But in all honesty, I'm so proud to be part of an organization that's here for women who are struggling, who are wanting to find their way. And to be in a room with so many people that made it happen. Jan Entwistle tries to hide by sitting in the spot she thinks is my blind spot. But Jan Entwistle, there's some ladies from AAUW here, Altrusa, Junior League, and 400 other people got together about 24 years ago to say, we want to have services for women and we think it's important. And these are women who typically don't qualify for government assistance. They're not sexy stories we're dealing with. They don't get the headlines. These are people who are trying to raise their family, trying to pay their rent or mortgage, and trying to be self-sufficient. So it's not necessarily, I don't have a cute puppy. I should bring a puppy just for fun. Sorry, Hildy, you could have brought puppies. I know. But it's really a vital service for the women in this community. And the women we have speaking today, I think, are really going to highlight that. Before we get on to the speakers, I want to discuss one more other serious topic, the centerpieces. So, if you were a table host at your table, the centerpiece is your gift. Because we have a couple of co-hosts, we didn't want any infighting, so there's two. So, right, Marilyn was already thinking, which one is mine? No, I didn't. Right? And if you're not hosting a table, if your birthday is closest to today, you get the flowers. I know that seems strange, but it's always an issue at the end of the luncheon. So there, we're done. It's good. No fighting. And Dottie Turner still would like to know who stole her orchids last year. Anyhow, so what I want to talk about is the women who are brave enough to come and share their stories with me. The Women's Resource Center really serves a wide variety of women. Literally, we have women from 18, 19-year-olds who have maybe made not great decisions and are coming out of rehab or the correctional system that need to connect, to stay-at-home moms from Northwest Bradenton who decide they want to go back to work and want to connect with an employment coach. It's really hard to say in a sentence what that means, because really we're here for all women, wherever you are on that spectrum of surviving to thriving. And it's great that we are. And the stories we have first is Arlene Adekoya, who is going to make her way up. Right now, she's going, why did I agree to do this? It seemed like a good idea 6 months ago. But Arlene is a wonderful story on resiliency and change, and join me in welcoming her. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. I'm very proud to share my story with you today. If you don't already or haven't already figured it out, I'm not from Florida. And if you haven't figured it out, you will probably by the time I finish speaking. You'll hear some words that sound like she's from up north. And yes, I am from New York City, born and bred. All right. Okay. I found early in my life that I really had a desire to move on and leave New York, but it wasn't until I was in my early 40s that I really put the effort forth to do that. And with my mother already relocating down to Florida from New York, she found her palm tree in her retirement. I got introduced to the area, and I decided I would go ahead and find a new place to be. And Bradenton was the spot. So there was a little glitch. I was married and my husband didn't want to come. So we struck up a deal. If I would wait, he would support the purchase of our home and we would plan for our beautiful retirement in the years to come. At that time, I had one child. He was grown. He was pursuing his career in the Navy. And I said, okay, I'll take that deal. So I purchased a home here in Florida. I was coming back and forth, and life took over. And so that I won't miss anything, I want you to all bear with me while I read how things went, okay? Okay. Fate and life had its own plans, so by early 2003, I found myself 44 years old, the single mother of an 8-month-old daughter, and the sole helper for my mother who had become seriously ill. Fast forward 1 year into 2004, and my mother succumbed to acute leukemia, leaving my 20-month-old daughter and myself here in Bradenton without family or friends. With hindsight being 20/20, I can now look back and see that at the time I was just putting one foot before the other, only operating on automatic. In spite of having a 4-year college degree, a 15-year career in the New York State Family Court System, 12 years as co-founder and deputy director of a grassroots social service organization, and the experience of running my own successful business from home, I was numb and uncertain with the prospect of moving forward in my new reality. The Women's Resource Center was instrumental in setting into motion my journey to self-awareness, healing, and our transitioning into an entirely new life. The March 2004 Life Launch program was my first step towards getting started. It was only after actually getting into our work together did I understand what a far-reaching, comprehensive, and promising, life-changing opportunity I had embarked upon. In fact, it was before the end of our second session that I had an epiphany, realizing the extent of help I needed went far beyond job search assistance. What I came to characterize as doing all the right things for the wrong reasons was finally going to be dealt with by me, consciously and conscientiously and directly. As I have moved forward towards the endeavor, it is more and more true that the Women's Resource Center has been a pivotal part of helping me move my life in a direction that was sorely needed and a long time coming. You know, I've been here a little while, and I haven't laid eyes on Jay. Is Jay here? Jay Lemmel? Well, I just want to give kudos to Jay because he facilitated the Life Launch program that I participated in. And when I walked into that classroom and I saw that man standing there, I could not see how he was going to help me do the things that I thought I needed to do. Well, it did not take until the end of that day for him to change my mind completely. Jay is the perfect person. His kindness, his caring, and his compassion, he seemed to have respect and value for the women there more than we had for ourselves at the time. And I just wanted to take a few moments to just really applaud him, and he's not here, but I just want to applaud him. Matter of fact, there's a few things that Jay said to me, to us, all of us, that I made sure to write down. There are only two choices, fear and love. The source of peace is always present and available. Our commitment shows in the results, and God doesn't make junk. I immediately put to work the many tools offered in Life Launch by reaching out to Ashley for an informational interview. Ashley eagerly supported my efforts, connecting me to contacts within the Bradenton Courthouse, and several months later, my name was submitted for the position I have held for close to 10 years. Shortly after I completed Life Launch, I strengthened my skills with a Women's Resource Center computer class. Sometime later, I took advantage of the opportunity to participate in one of the business workshops offered at WRC and accepted an invite that came through that class to participate in an 8-week business workshop in the community. As I continued to build a life for us here, I reached out to other organizations introduced to me while attending events at WRC. I was strongly advised by a Life Launch sister to visit what is now and what has been my church home for 10 years. I'm pleased to have built meaningful relationships there, and with the exception of my children, what have become closer, more supportive, and more nurturing relationships than any of my blood relations. That family is here supporting me today, and I want them to know how much I love and respect them and admire and appreciate them. I have been blessed to be able to make this transition and incorporate what has always been important to me. I give back by offering my time, support, and ideas to community organizations, some introduced to me by WRC. And I also serve in a leadership capacity at my church home, Church of the Cross. In their continued support of me, WRC welcomed my ideas and proposal to serve their clients by my facilitating a workshop for over 3 years that focused on providing information about the family court process for individuals without legal counsel. Women's Resource Center had continued their support of me as the economy made it necessary for me to resurrect my New York cookie business. Everything has come full circle, and again, Ashley eagerly positioned the Women's Resource Center aside and behind me by placing some of my largest cookie orders and provided my business with exposure. I have filled orders as far away as Georgia, thanks to the business I have received from supporters at the Women's Resource Center. It is not my intention to misrepresent how difficult these years have actually been for me, but the Women's Resource Center was that significant first foothold that made so many more things possible for me. The safe place and supportive environment the Women's Resource Center provided gave me a place to settle my concerns and begin to see myself for who I really was and who I was meant to be. I extend my sincere appreciation to all of them and all of you for the continued encouragement and support as I continue my journey of doing the right things for the right reasons.
Where are my glasses? This is for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so wonderful. These stories really remind us of why we do the things we do. And when I'm having those moments of, why did I choose this career path? Arlene and the women who participate in our programs make it a no-brainer. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for the kind words. I am definitely the face of the Women's Resource Center, but I am one small piece of the Women's Resource Center. We have amazing staff, volunteers, supporters that really make everything we do happen. I just get all the credit. It's a great job. Great job. So one of the things we talk about at the center is the impact that the woman has in our life, in our community. Has anyone ever heard me say, happy mom, happy family, empower a woman, change a life, strengthen a community? Our next speakers, and there's two, mother-daughter duo for support, really help put into perspective that when you're helping a mother, you're helping their family, and you're helping our community. And I love their story. I've had the pleasure of knowing them for many years now and seeing Susan grow up, and I graduate from high school and already 1 degree. It's crazy. But join me in welcoming Susan Flores and Susanna Pera.
I was born and raised in Arequipa, Peru until I was 6 years old. I still remembered how hard it was for my mother, brother, and father to say goodbye to our family and friends in our beautiful country. Of course, I was only 6, so I did not know what was really going on. But saying goodbye to the people I loved and seeing the tears running down their faces as we left broke my heart. As I grew up and I started to understand things better, but being in a different country and not having your grandparents, uncles, cousins near you is very hard. During middle school, I noticed how truly different I was from my classmates. Differences in my culture, my parents, and my morals. During my first years of high school, the differences stood out much more. We were much older, so the things we wanted to do were what my parents would look at as dangerous, like a late-night movie or a sleepover. 2012, during the end of my sophomore year, was when I saw things were changing. Things happened in that time that made the relationship I had with my mother, father, and brother grow apart. I kept to myself a lot and barely shared much with them. That one guy who I thought was perfect showed me he was the complete opposite. In school, I wasn't as focused as I used to be. Things were starting to really hit me. I felt like I was changing for the worse. Although I was scared, it did not stop me from changing. My mother, of course, could feel and see that I was changing, so she did what she called take action.
About 4 years ago, I met the head of the Latinas Empowerment Group, Maria Zavala. I met Maria when I was in the middle of balancing a very busy work schedule, being there for my teenage daughter, and also looking for some help on ways to communicate better with her. When I decided to join the Latinas of the Women's Resource Center, I was able to find family, true friends, and most importantly, I was able to discover myself. I learned to value and love myself, to follow my dreams, to believe in me, and also I was able to discover the superpower that me and every woman has within. Ever since I joined Latinas of the Women Resource Center, my life has changed. I will be changing for better. Then I asked myself this question: why can't we share all this knowledge with the young Latinas from our community? And why do I have to wait? What they have to wait for them to go through hardships before to offer them the advice they need? We have to do something about it. Maria Zavala created the program Roots and Wings, focused main to help mothers and daughters ages from 12 to 16 years old, and my daughter and me be part of that program.
My mother would always talk about Maria and how amazing and inspirational she was. After months of my mother going to the Latinas Empowerment Group, she convinced me to meet with Maria so we can talk about our relationship. I remember that Saturday so clearly. It was so life-changing. My mother and I opened up to each other so well. After that day, things were looking up. I met with Maria once in a while to just talk about me, to figure myself out and understand myself and those around me much better. After a few months, my mom told me about Roots and Wings. Oh boy, the convincing needed for that. She told me we were going to meet with Maria and other mothers and daughters to help our connection be much stronger. Roots and Wings is a program that not only changed the relationship between my mother and I, become much different and positive, but it changed me. It changed the way I viewed my culture. It helped me understand not only my mother, but my father and why some things in the past happened. I made friends there, friends who I grew so close to. We did not want Roots and Wings to end, so an idea of a group was born. A place not only we could hang out and make friends, but a place where we can be ourselves with other girls just like us and learn, accept, and be proud of our differences from our community. We connected with Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida, and became a Girl Scout troop. The Women's Resource Center became Mission Sisterhood's home, supporting us from day one, providing us with space, and anything we needed, the support was there. After many months of planning and putting together the curriculum, we had our first meeting on August 7th, 2013, which went absolutely amazing. Becoming a Girl Scout troop leader and teaching the girls important lifelong skills is absolutely the best part of it all. Becoming a part of the Women's Resource Center has absolutely changed my life. It has made me personally a much better person. I'm doing things 2 years ago I would have never imagined myself doing. I've been a Girl Scout troop leader for over a year now. I've earned the highest award a Girl Scout can earn, which is the Gold Award. I became part of the Future Leaders Academy graduate, hosted by Unidos Now. I became a Healthy Teen educator, hosted by It's Your Choice Healthy Teen Coalition. I graduated not only high school, but also Manatee Technical Institute from the cosmetology program, and now I'm going for my AA at the State College of Florida. I've done so many things. Thank you. I've done so many things I'm so proud of, and I can't wait to see what my future would look like. And I have so many people to thank for that. But mainly, thank you to the mentors Mission Sisterhood is lucky to have by their side, mentoring our young Latina girls and helping them become the strong, powerful women. My mother for taking action and not only helped me understand myself, but understanding herself. For believing in me and supporting and never giving up on me. For becoming and helping me become the strong, powerful, confident woman we are today. Maria Zavala for helping me become a person I'm so proud of. Thank you to Ashley Brown and the Women's Resource Center for all it has to offer our community, for empowering women and helping them become the powerful women they truly are. Thank you.
I could tell you these stories, but it would not have half of the impact. So, ladies, thank you for your bravery, for standing up and sharing your story. You never know whose life you're going to impact by sharing what you went through, so we really appreciate it. And now I'm going to pass it on to our board chair, Marilyn Bullock. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, she'd like a standing ovation,
Yes,
please.
please, everybody. I would think that by now Charles Clapsaddle would bring me a step stool. All the times you film me and I'm like the talking head among tears. Thank you all so much for coming. As Ashley said, I am the chairman or board president, and I'd like the rest of the board to stand up, please, and really take a round of applause. Everybody that's on the board right now, check out these men and women who I get to work with that help the WRC. Thank you. There's a few people also that I'd like to thank and I'd like to recognize. First of all, my employer, Louis Najmi, who's on the phone right now, I see. He's texting. Louis is surrounded by women all day at work. He has 3 paralegals, and then he goes home to 3 young daughters and a wife. He manages to juggle all of our personalities and keep us on top, and we thank you for everything that you do for us, Louis, and for the WRC. I'd also like to acknowledge my husband, Ken. Many of you already know that part of our prenup, I've told you all this, part of our prenup was rule number 1, wife cooks dinner every night. I think a lot of you know that. He has happily takes it on the chin and eats a frozen pizza whenever I have a WRC event. So I'd like to thank Ken for all of his support too. And then again, my big sister, Sandra Lynn, who flew in from Wisconsin to support me and to support the Women's Resource Center at this event. And of course, all of you, I certainly appreciate each of you taking the time to learn more about the WRC today. And many of you have attended and contributed to the Women's Resource Center annually at this Founders Luncheon. This year, though, I'm asking you to consider increasing the amount you give. Why? Well, Ashley gave me a bunch of reasons to tell you why, but the most important one is because we have had, and we've seen substantial increases in the demand for our services this year alone. The number of mental health counseling appointments we provided this year has increased 12%, and attendance in our support groups have jumped 56%. Simply put, we don't turn women away. In Ashley's article on Sunday that she wrote for the Bradenton Herald, she listed a few reasons why people don't ask for help. But I'm going to tell you something very personal that I've never spoken publicly before. The reason I didn't ask for help when I needed it was because I was afraid that I would be turned away. My family and I were turned away from an institution here in Manatee County when we asked for help. Simply speaking, you will not be turned away at the WRC. If we can't help you, we will find an organization or an individual who can. No one will walk away from our doors feeling alone and helpless, and that is the difference the WRC made in my life. I received a boost of confidence at the support group, The Living Room. I received guidance at the support group Friends and Families Facing Addiction, and then I got my joy back thanks to Judy Sedgman. And look how happy I am now. And not just in my life, the WRC has made a difference in the lives of many women that you know that are sitting here, and Jamie Carter, she's one of them. Jamie?
I've been involved with the center since 2000, and it's been a great it's been wonderful to watch it grow and, grow over the years. I mean, this room, this is amazing. When I drove up today, I couldn't believe all the cars out there. And, I just want to thank you for coming today. I volunteered at the center. I served on the board. I've used the services there. Mental health counseling. We had issues in our family. It was nice. The counselor got me out of my rut. And also I decided to go back to work, and Jay was there for me, And he's amazing. He helped me write my resume. He, we went through my strengths. And by not being involved with the center and not having this resource, I don't know where else I would have gone and felt comfortable. So, Tara, I'd like to hand this over to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tara Poulton, and the center has also made a difference in my life. Several years ago, I was going through a divorce, and it was devastating. And I know a lot of people have been through divorce, but it was so upsetting, and I was so embarrassed. And I went to the center for help, and they were able to give me the perspective I needed that I couldn't get from my close friends and family members. So I thank the center for that. And now I'm going to pass the mic on to Cindy Daughtry.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, y'all. I might be from the South. I, like Jamie, have been involved with the Women's Resource Center many years, even longer than Jamie because I am older. But to see the growth that we've had in all of you here is just fabulous. But I have been involved in many ways, and a couple years ago, I decided that I wanted to go back into the workforce, maybe on a part-time basis. I didn't want to stretch myself too bad, but part-time. And I had the absolute pleasure of meeting with Jay, who you've heard much about today. And he really helped me in writing a resume focus on what we came up with as my strengths and how that would be applicable to a kind of job that I may want. And it made such a difference in helping me find something that I wanted to do. And also it gave me a lot of confidence because he found some strengths I had. So that was great. But we've helped so many women over the years, and it's just a fabulous thing. Thank you.
Thank you all three. So as you could see, the Women's Resource Center we've done a lot, and we've done a lot for a lot of women. I just found out from Ashley that I'm going to say this right. Someone has made a $5,000 match. Yes. So whatever you donate today, there's a $5,000 match. So thank you, whoever that anonymous person is. Thank you very much. Okay, you do that. And I'll just finish up, and then I'll let Ashley continue. We provide more than 4,000 hours of programming each year. Help us to double those hours by increasing your gift this year. Increase your gift to help a woman during all the stages of her life. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Good. Now I have everyone's speech up here, which is good. So thank you, and thank you all for sharing. Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be a lunch for a nonprofit if I didn't give you the opportunity to give. That would just seem wrong, wouldn't it? It'd be like not having dessert. At your table, we've given you forms and envelopes, and we do have a generous, actually it was 2 people that stepped forward to do a $5,000 match for every dollar that's donated today. So that's fantastic. So if you've heard something that you feel you want to be part of, please join us in supporting the women of our community. And thank you again for being here today. Thank you, Dottie Turner, another great Founders Luncheon under your leadership. We appreciate it. And thank you to all our speakers.